Hey everyone, and welcome back to Final Fantasy XIV, where it is time for the annual seasonal event of Hatchingtide, which is the Final Fantasy XIV celebration of Easter. Minion Roulette for today is giving us Nana Bear, which is not at all seasonally appropriate. Oh well. I don't think I have any minions that would be seasonally appropriate, so it was a long shot, but... Hello, Jilly Aliopo. Jilly Aliopo has a great deal to say about Hatchingtide. Do you hear the angry cat behind me attacking my chair? Oh, okay. She did that, I guess. Let's move on. Hatchingtide is upon us once more. I hope the season finds you an excellent fettle. For my part, Satora, it is an absolute pleasure to see you again. While I have your attention, allow me to expand upon the nature of this year's festivities. Hatchingtide has its origins in the days before the 7th Umbral Calamity, when 12 sages of an era past appeared before me in a startling vision. I have been visited by such dreams ever since, and this year was no exception. I saw a great mass of eggs as vivid as those before you now, borne aloft into the heavens. Making dreams manifest has never failed to lend wonder to Hatchingtide before, so needless to say, I intend to bring my latest vision to life. Speaking of which, the eggs I commission ought to arrive any moment now. Oh, Jilly, it's a disaster! The cart toppled over en route! Thankfully the driver was unscathed, but I can't say the same for the eggs. Good heavens, I'm glad to hear the poor driver was unharmed, but without the eggs, how are we to breathe life into my dream? Don't worry, I'll simply fashion some more eggs myself. Though to create the quantity required will take time, and we're already facing at least a minor delay at this point. If only I could assign someone to help you. Alas, the other dreamers are busy enough as it is, and I must see to the schedule alterations myself. But wait, Satora, perhaps you'd be willing to lend a hand. Satora, how wonderful to see you again. Knowing what an exemplary assistant you are gives me cause for hope, if you're happy to help, that is. Of course I'm happy to help. That's why I'm here, after all. Thank you. The first order of business will be procuring more of the necessary egg supplies from the merchant. Our supplier should be in the market. He's a burly fellow, so he won't be difficult to spot. We can only hope he has enough stock. Alright then, off we go. Best of luck with getting everything back on track on your end, Jilly. Alright, quickly, let us go and fetch those supplies so we can hopefully save the day. Save Hatchingtide, since all the eggs are shattered. In previous years, we'd have to do a fate in order to get the eggs back, but apparently this year they just straight up broke. Alright then, you must be our supplier. Hello there. There's our man. Indeed. Ah, you're that dreamer who was here before, ain't ya? Alright, old mess to be sure. Fred him out of the supplies you need, though. Oh, is there really nothing you can do for us? Well, I do have some tatty old odds and ends, or surplus wares that might be of use. If you want them, they're all yours. Might not be exactly what you needed, but I'm sure you can cobble something together with these. The storage fees where you need to be I'd rather see them put to good use. When I ordered the initial batch of supplies, I remember thinking what a kind fellow he was. He certainly proved me right. Any road, we'd better take stock of what he's given us. I mean, you know what? It sounds like he's getting a win out of it. So maybe he's not the kindest person in the world, but he is certainly a helpful person. Let's see, this leather looks durable. We have some metal springs and rings that could do for a mechanism of some sort. and these lengths of timber could be cut down to a more portable size. I think these herbs and resins are used to concoct water-repellent alchemical solutions. Never tried it myself, but there's a first time for everything. Oh, this is off to a fantastic start. Besides, there are plenty of bits and bobs. We should have no trouble when it comes to decoration. I mean, I'm sure the homemade look that we're going to get out of this is going to add to its charm, but also, oh dear. Unfortunately, we won't be able to recreate the eggs Jilly saw in her dream with these. We could make something far easier to get off the ground, though. Parasols. The trick will be making them look eggy enough. Oh goodness, these are great options. Oh no. The shell makes the egg, as they say. Do they say that? Anyway, we should paint them. You're right, with some festive patterns on the outer canopy and a convincingly eggy structure, the parasols might just make for a worthy replacement. Parasols are a sight more fiddly than your standard egg, though. With just the two of us, production will take far too long. So we'll need to enlist further help, just as I did with you. Fortunately, the guild artisan should be less likely to balk at a request for parasol parts than a rush order for myriad eggs, particularly if we supply the materials. Let us first pay a visit to the Leatherworkers Guild. I'm sure they'll be able to transform our leather into something fit for a canopy. Alright, I think this will work. It's definitely a bit of a mess, but we're making the best with what we've got, and I love it. Alright then, Jiva, we're gonna need your assistance. I mean, technically I could do it myself, I am a leather worker, but we're gonna need your assistance. I've explained the situation to Jiva, and she seems inclined to sympathy. If we keep our manners about us, we should manage to secure the guild's assistance. Good to hear. Ah, if it isn't Satora, you must be the adventure assistant Nonota spoke of. She was just informing me of your plight. Many of our apprentices are looking forward to the Hatchingtide celebrations. You shall have the guild's aid, although I'm afraid we lack some of the resources needed to work your leather into parasol canopies. The material is water resistant to a degree, but nevertheless porous. Untreated, it will degrade over time and begin to rot, but our stock of coating is perilously low at the moment. If it's a water repellent you're after, say no more. We just so happen to have the necessary ingredients, so I can see to its preparation. In the meantime, would you take this timber over to the Carpenters Guild and request that they craft the parasol frame? We can meet up at the Black Rabbit Trader stall anon. Alright, sounds like a plan. You've got the coating, Jiva's got the actual canopy, and Beaton will take care of the frame. This sounds like it's all coming together, at least reasonably well. Alright, hello there, Beaton. Why do you stand there like a frightened schoolchild? If you need something, speak. Yeah, I need help making this into an umbrella frame. Parasol frames, a task not beyond your own skill, no doubt, would the imminence of the holiday not force you to compromise their quality. You have done well to seek aid, Satora, and you shall have it. The younglings in the acorn orchard await the festivities. For their sake, no effort will be spared in the parasol's preparation. We shall commence work right away. Let your associates know that the Carpenters Guild has matter in hand. Alright, everything is coming together swimmingly. Let's just hope Jilly is fond of the idea of making parasols instead of eggs. They are egg-shaped parasols, though. I trust everything went well at the Carpenters Guild. I've just placed an order for the alchemical solution and a few other things besides. So you were not able to handle it yourself. Got it. Fair enough. The next step will be to piece all the parts together into a prototype parasol. I'll bring the prototype over to Jilly once I finish, so you can go ahead and wait with her. Alright. I can't wait to see how these turn out. Alright, hello there, Jilly Aliopa. We have a special gift on the way. Welcome back, Satora. You'll be pleased to hear that I've adjusted the schedule to accommodate our little mishap, and all is set to proceed. How fare the eggs? Well, they're not quite eggs anymore, but they are egg-shaped. Substituting parasols for eggs? What a wonderful idea. I can hardly wait to see what Nanota cooks up for the prototype. Though wait we must. Alright, I'm sure Nanota will be here soon. Jilly Aliopa is patiently waiting to see the parasol prototype. Nanota will surely be along any moment now. Sorry to keep you both waiting. Allow me to present you with the very first Archon Egg Parasol. What a fine example of ingenuity! It's magnificent! I have to agree. It is perhaps a bit much for casual use, but it is great. It is great for the season. I'm so glad you approve. With your blessing, I'll begin producing more to distribute. In the meantime, we find ourselves at a loose end. But we cannot let Nanota outstrip us in the Hatchingtide spirit. There must be more we can do. Perhaps we can show it off to people and get people interested in the parasols. Let's show it off to the townsfolk. But of course, we ought to promote our newest addition to the festivities. If we tell even a few Gridanians that these gorgeous accoutrements will be available to those who celebrate with us, word will spread of its own accord. With that in mind, I shall keep mine unfurled and on display. Use your adventurous instincts to identify those most in need of egg-themed accessories. Yes, because that is what my adventure instincts are specifically honed for. The market is always busy. Let us look for potential celebrants there. Jilly is now following us! And as always with seasonal events, they have to reintroduce how it works, just in case someone hasn't gotten to Endwalker where that mechanic is officially introduced yet. Or in case it's their first time seeing it in general. Though I do wish there was at least a check to see, hey, has this player been introduced to this before? Do we need to show the 5-second pop-up? It's not a big deal, but it would be neat if they could just skip it if you've already seen it. Or at the very least, skip it if you've at least reached Endwalker's expansion. Alright, we have a quick optional conversation here with Jilly. When I think back to the very first Hatchingtide, it's a marvel just how popular the occasion has become. I have so many people to thank for their efforts, yourself included. Why, thank you, Jilly. We dreamers are responsible for all the decorations you see throughout the city. Take that basket over there. For instance, I came up with the idea and Nanota worked her magic to create the final product. It is a very nice basket. I love the egg-shaped balloon. That's actually really good. That's actually delightful. Alright, hello there, egg appreciator. I say, madam, you must tell me where I might acquire a resplendent parasol likened to your own. At our Hatchingtide event, of course. How about it? Will you join us at the amphitheater? I'd be delighted, and as a true connoisseur of eggs, both decorative and edible, I attend annually in hopes of glimpsing ovoid perfection, and this parasol surpasses my every imagining. Such elegance! Such egginess! You are quite into this, I guess. Next up, we have an egg appraiser. Why, that parasol is an absolute delight. It's not often you see that level of craftsmanship paired with such decorative flair. This might be the finest egg-inspired apparel I've ever seen. Might I ask who is responsible for this masterpiece? The Leatherworkers Guild, the Carpenters Guild, the Black Rabbit Traders, and our Dreamers all had their parts to play. And if you join us in celebrating Hatchingtide, you can receive one just like it. I should have known that the Guild's artisans were involved. If it means getting my hands on a parasol, I'd be more than happy to take part in the festivities. Alright, that's two. Let's see if we can find one more. Perhaps this egg enthusiast. Who, if I am not mistaken... Yep, that's a Keeper of the Moon. Rare Keeper of the Moon representation. Well, I guess Jilly is also a keeper. But, like, Keepers of the Moon are in general very, very underrepresented among, like, normal NPCs. You see them most often among seasonal events, which is like, give us more keepers, please, Square, I beg you. We are so underrepresented in this game. Duskwights too. Duskwights get shat on so much. Heavens above, is that adorable parasol fashioned after an Archon egg? Exquisite, isn't it? If you join us at the amphitheater, you'll receive one just like it. For years I have searched for a parasol as darling as an egg, getting sunburned and soaked by turns, and you offer me one free of charge. 'Tis a Hatchingtide miracle! I expect those three will tell all and sundry about our parasols. Our work here is done. Though, that last one, she seemed very, very excited about specifically an egg parasol. She's been looking for a egg-shaped parasol for years? Alright then. Well, that went rather swimmingly. You clearly have an eye for egg connoisseurs. I shall go and see how many attendees are gathered at the amphitheater. Feel free to join us when you have a moment. And off she goes. Cat? Hi, I love you, but if you stop my recording or attack my microphone, we're gonna have a problem. Cats. Alright, let's get back to the amphitheater while I deal with this kitty. Do not sit on the keyboard! A menace. She is a menace. Don't you stop that. She is currently attacking me with her tail like it's a whip. Also, before we speak to Jilly, the parasols, they are everywhere. What the? Cat! She scratched me. I didn't even do anything. She just scratched me. Cats, goodness. All right then. Yeah, no, there's a lot of umbrellas. There's a lot of parasols. They spread so quickly. I'm gonna be honest, it kind of feels like a cult. To think I'd end up with one of these delightful parasols all for myself. You and your associates are so generous. There's so many. This parasol is truly the peak of ovoid aesthetics. Timing my visit to coincide with Hatchingtide was a fine idea indeed. And you were the last one. When I laid eyes upon this parasol, its quality spoke loud and clear. A triumph of design, both practical and decorative. It's not often I find an article so worthy of my discernment. Alright. Minota, how'd it go on your end? I take it they went well? The folks you gathered certainly are enthusiastic about showing off their parasols. Fortunately, no one's yet lost an eye. Yeah, that could be a problem if people aren't careful with them, but I hope people are generally respectful enough to not to wave an umbrella in someone else's face. Especially a closed one. Looks Totore, isn't the sight of those parasols simply marvelous? Eggs held aloft, just as in my dream. Hooray, we did it, Jilly! We certainly did. Shall we officially declare this Hatchingtide a success? Hold that thought, you've yet to see the half of it. My Senta, I'm not quite sure I follow. Quite a few of my customers asked about your parasols. More than can comfortably gather here, in fact. Nevertheless, I took the liberty of handing out stock to those who came inquiring. With how many left my soul with a smile on their face and a parasol in hand, the whole city is awash in floating eggs. That's incredible! To think the parasols are bringing joy even beyond our celebration. Wait, Jilly, they're one and the same, aren't they? The celebration has spread across the city, borne by a great mass of floating eggs. You're right! I was intent on gathering people here, but the eggs in my dream were far too numerous to contain in one place. They were always meant to be seen far and wide. That our original plans met with misfortune was a blessing in disguise, for we've touched the hearts of more people than I dared to imagine. There's no doubt in my mind, this will go down as a Hatchingtide to remember. Black Rabbit traders shall continue distributing parasols to those who ask. They may be free of charge, but they're drawing business in spades. Nanota told me how to assemble them, so I can prepare as many as necessary. Truly, where would we be without your ingenuity, Nanota? I couldn't have done it without our able adventure. Now, that reminds me, I have something for you, Satora. That's the very second parasol I ever made, after Jilly's, of course. I thought it fitting that you receive it. With eggs aloft across the city, all that's left is to enjoy the festivities. Your work may have finished, Satora, but Hatchingtide most certainly hasn't. And we get our own Archon Egg Parasol for our efforts. Alright, problem para solved. Let's go ahead and get that registered. And check it out real quick. We're up to 3 umbrellas at this point. That's a pretty nice one. I do really like this one. It's pretty. It's a little bit much. I probably won't use it casually, but it is a good parasol. Alright, last thing to do for today is we want to check out the people who are visiting the festivities. First off, the couple that broke up on Valentione's Day, they're still here. They never left. They have been grieving their breakup for 2 months. Incredible. Unless they've been here for even longer and I only just noticed them at Valentione's. In terms of other guests, we have Red Rose and Yellow Moon. Such stylish parasols, this puts me in the mood to weave. Do make sure to weave one that matches my complexion, teehee. Who else do we have? Hananza, perhaps such a parasol could be forged from steel instead. That sounds like it might be a little on the heavy side. The festivities have drawn quite the crowd. Captain, mayhap we could avail ourselves a parasol each. I'm trying to remember. You look so familiar. Are you former company of heroes stationed in Southern Shroud? Is that you? I forget your name. I want to say that's you, though. Please, let me know who this pair is. Because I'm not remembering off the top of my head, but I want to say this is the guy stationed at Camp Tranquil down in South Shroud, who's formerly of the Company of Heroes. Also, I'm so sad that we're not rushing through the game, because if we were a bit further in the game, namely if we had finished the 8-player raid series for Stormblood, there would be a pair of guests right here who just look absolutely adorable. But that is so long off. You'll just have to see this yourself, hopefully. I know that these seasonal event videos come out usually well after the seasonal event actually ends, just because of the way I do things, but I do hope you get a chance to see them. I know there are people out there who do like detailed documentation of everything to see at every seasonal event, so that would be another good place to look if you want to see. But spoilers for the 8-player Stormblood raids. Anyways, with that is it for this Hatchingtide. I will see everyone next time, as I believe we are continuing with the main story as we make our way out to try and track down Hraesvelgr at this point, I believe. I will see everyone next time for that.